Hey, what's going on guys, Migzuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at an AZORIUS control deck, and following the theme of the last couple of videos, it will be for standard best of 3. So this deck is inspired by the one Aaron Gertler played in the MCQ, or at least said he was. I didn't exactly follow his run, but it tends to, or the whole point of the deck is to leverage Archon of Sun's Grace to make a million 2/2 lifelinking Pegasi and win the game that way. Although his deck was a lot more focused on tapping out and really abusing Archon. It had all 4 copies of Yorion, so 3 in the main deck, 1 in the sideboard, and I've changed it up a little bit. Basically, we still have the Archon plan, which by the way, Archon and Nico go super hard because whenever you make a shard, it is an enchantment, so you get to make the 2/2 Pegasus, so just sweet little combo there. But yeah, his deck was more tap-outy, ran less counter magic, and basically just tried to blink all the enchantments back. We had more ECDs and get a lot more Archon value. That kind of control strategy honestly stresses me out. I feel like I need to hold open mana more often than not. So I added more ways to do that. Basically, we added some negates to the main deck to have more answers to ultimatum. We have more tomes, some beholds, that type of thing. But we still have the shell of the deck intact. So we'll go over it really quickly. We got some glass caskets. Removal is very important. Against Sultai, you can side it out. Our sideboard's really built for Sultai. We'll go over that later. But yeah, great removal spell. If you hit a token, you can blink it with one of your Yorions. Birth, great card. Gets you a plains, gets you a blocker, and gains you some life. You can also, well, blink it to get another plains, which is relevant, which is also why we have so many. Jwari's, tap land, or counter magic. It's great, awesome card. Your opponent pretty much always has to play around it once they've seen the first one. Negates, like I said, ultimatum, but has plenty of other important targets. We got some omens, great with Archon, great with Yorion. Tome, gain some life against aggro, draw some cards against control, scry 2, untap land, board clears, anything that you may or may not need. Awesome card. You can also reset it with Yorion to get more value off the tomes. Omens, good card. You can blink it with Yorion, get more life, get more blockers. You guys know the whole shtick. Also makes Pegasi with Archon. Apparition, we are a Yorion deck and we are a blue-white control deck. We're going to play Apparition. Also, you have the sweet Casket plus Apparition combo. And we don't have any Charming Princes to go infinite, but, you know, just having the option to blink and then take an illusion is really good. Midnight Clock against rogues. It's also good in control mirrors, and it can help us ramp to Yorion on turn 4 if you ever really want to do that for some reason. Saw it coming. All catch-all counterspell, great. Foretell, meaning you can get around some hand hate. Nico, mostly here for the combo with the Archon, but honestly, it's a great card. You can play it for X and just make a million shards, making a million Pegasi, or you can just have it shoot something. The -1 to kill a creature is great, and it scales really easily. As long as you've drawn 2 cards, it's -1, deal 4. As long as you've drawn 1 card, it's a shock, so really versatile Planeswalker. Archon, we've covered a fair amount. A lot of the deck is built around Archon. We have some beholds. You can foretell it. Your opponent will know if you have a Doomscar, a Saw It Coming, or a Behold. It also holds priority, which is cool. I like Beholds. You don't even need to foretell it. Sometimes you can just hold open a bunch of interaction and have it. Doomscar, we are kind of weak to aggro, and we don't have the black removal spells or board clears that I rely on so heavily in stuff like Dimir control or Sultai control, but Doomscar does the job. Having the option to have a turn 3 sweeper is really good. So we run all 4 copies in the main deck. Got some ECDs. Exile a thing, blink it with Yorion, make some Pegasi. The tax is very relevant as well. It can throw Sultai off their curve, lets you exile like a Polychronos or something. And, you know, it can make it awkward for them to not cast ultimatum when they have 7 lands. And 1 main deck Yorion, because I think it is warranted in this deck. We have enough blinkables with caskets, omens, tomes, births, more omens. You don't really want to blink this. You can reset some loyalty. You can exile another thing. You can basically give the pseudo-vigilance. We have so many targets that are also ECD that Yorion is just so powerful. So I don't want to run too many because we are running slightly less enchantments or blinkables than Aaron Gertler is running, but I think 1 in the main and 1 on the side is pretty good. Mana base slightly skewed towards white. Actually, no, we just have more plains. It's not exactly skewed towards white. We want more plains for the birth. But yeah, we have Jwari's here as more tapped blue lands. We have an Amiria's Call as an alternate win con or an untapped white source, which is pretty cool. I really do like Amiria's Call in my control decks. We have some more greedier lands like Crawling Barrens. No castles, this kind of replaces them. Being able to make a 1/1 at instant speed can be better, but a lot of the time just being able to pump your mana into a big Crawling Barrens can be more versatile, and honestly, I really do like Crawling Barrens as another win con for the deck. Very low cost. It just taps for colorless. It's basically the only cost to even playing this card. Passage, you guys know Passage. Field of Ruin. I'm literally considering cutting a Barrens and putting in another Field of Ruin because this deck doesn't have an instant speed way to deal with Faceless Haven, which is a huge issue, whereas all the control decks that have black have the 2-mana Pseudo Doom Blades. But yeah, Field of Ruin is a way to do that, so it's a pretty solid card. And again, sorry, same thing as Barrens. It's the only cost to, well, the only cost to running it is the fact that it taps are colorless, but great card. Sideboard, we have some giant killers for anything with big creatures, Glimpse against rogues, this against anything blue, this against Sultai, and some other decks like Gruul is pretty good against any type of, sorry, Goldspan Dragon deck. I was trying to figure out the name of that card, but yeah, the Dragon. Negate for anything where, you know, countering non-creature spells is important. The other Dispute, sorry, I just hate the way the sideboard's organized. All 4 Sharks against control wherever you don't really want to tap out, and a Heliod's Intervention. This can be okay against red because they do have a lot of artifacts, but really it's here because of the Mardu deck. They run a lot of artifacts. They sometimes board in Rolling Vortex against you just to have another way to attack you, and they have plenty of Bastions which are important to take out. So like one Heliod's Intervention is really good in those matchups. Anyways, guys, if you like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video. It will be in the description down below as always, and consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Okay, yeah, hand is good. We have 3 lands, Earth, a bunch more 2-mana interaction, and Nico, or I say interaction, card advantage. Now, the real question, do we play tap lands? I think we just played this one tapped, not be super greedy. Because I have card advantage in the Tome, in the Nico, as long as we're making mana, we should be okay. If we end up flooding, it's going to suck, but it is what it is. So this is Naya Adventures, I think. I think it's the only actual deck that runs Giganta, and as you can see, we have the Gruul symbol plus the planes. Okay. Island, and I'm going to pass. I'm going to hold open Omen and Jwaris. I'm not sure what they're going to play for 3 mana. It could just be like a bunch of 1/1s. They could do Clarion Spirit, Spellbinder. Yes, I knew that was coming. Very good target to hit. Yeah, I'm just happy to hit Spellbinder. And now we can play Draw Go again. My favorite type of control gameplay, where I either draw some cards or counter a spell. Playing this on turn 3 after not doing anything on 1 or 2 is pretty bad. Happy to just counter that as well. I'm not feeling any stress about this. And we're a while off needing to draw some planes, so I think we could just take the turn to play Tome. We have a couple lands. If I really needed mana, I'd play it differently, but we don't desperately need some mana, so this is fine. Giant Killer, okay. Unfortunate. It is hard for blue-white control to keep up with an Innkeeper. And I'm going to draw off the Tome. This is Scald's mana. I'm worried about that next turn. They stomp my face. Sure. Barrens. Another Tome. Okay. Do I main phase an Omen? I could play Nico, make a bunch of shards. That's not amazing. I think I just play this and pass, as weird as that sounds. I need to find, like, a big answer. Like, if I could find a Wrath, we're super chilling. But I might Omen for a counterspell. If they play Skulls. No. Just drawing another card off their Innkeeper. You guys know how busted this is. I can Nico Shock it down if they don't do anything. They might not attack due to just me being able to animate Crawling Barons and trade. Jaspira Sentinel? Sure. Okay, let's Omen first. Don't want those. I'm looking for a Wrath. But I will not put an upkeep scry for it because it's not like imperative. Okay. So what are we doing? We have plenty of lands. We really need a Doomscar though. I can play other Tome, play out Apparition and start scrying. Or I can play Apparition and draw off my Tome. I think that's okay. It's not amazing. I'm going to take the... Well, Innkeeper gets the more cards. This actually pushes through damage. I think we take this because the longer we survive, the better. Sure. Okay. And I'm going to pass. It's a lot of nothing. These cards kind of don't affect the board very much. We do need a Wrath. But at least we're building up our mana. Okay, another Innkeeper. And now what? Do you have more adventure creatures? Because if they're just playing Innkeepers and not pushing through damage, then it's not a huge deal. Stomp, okay. Now they get a 3/3, and I'm going to put a stop on upkeep here. We do kind of really want a Wrath at this point in the game. And because they can play the Bone Crusher Giant and draw 2 more cards. Yeah, not great. No removal is not great for us. Okay. I draw a card. Okay, this is starting to get ridiculous. Wrath. Yorion is not a Wrath. It's actually a pretty good blocker though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 2 mana to do something else. I think that's actually a keep for now. It means our next Wraths are going to be even juicier. Okay. I tap all my lands, or most of my lands for you. I'm going to play Omen to scry even deeper. Doomscar, we've seen about 25% of our deck. Alright, there we go. Now we just have to not be dead. Easier said than done. Actually, this deck doesn't run Cleave because of Giganta, so cool. We don't have to worry about that. How many Bone Crusher Giants have we seen? 1 or 2? We've seen 2 Spellbinders, okay. Clarion Spirit, yeah, commit more to the board. I love it. Cast more spells. Okay. Now they're going to put that on the field. They're going to draw some more cards. It's going to be a huge mess. But you know what? It's fine. Big Wrath. And then Nico to draw more cards. Alright. Opponent going in. I wonder if they're going to attack or not. They attack. Eh? Yes or no? If they have the Wrath, if they think I have the Wrath, this is 100% the play. If they don't think I have the Wrath, then they should not attack. Actually, hold on. Maybe they should attack either way. It's all a matter of how much do you value this Bone Crusher Giant or like this Giant Killer or something. I'm gonna hover all their creatures because I hovered like 1 or 2 before. Big decision. I'm just gonna soak up the most damage possible because we're gonna Wrath anyways. Okay. And I'm gonna scry here, but I'm not gonna scry on my upkeep. We can do better. Kind of. Let's see if they want to block. Yep. Easy block. I Wrath. Okay, not bad. Now what? Nico 4-0, make a shard. I think we just pass. We can do bigger Nikos in the future. And opponent has some cards. They drew 2 off their 1/1s, off their innkeepers, I mean. Scots. Guys, there's no break. They got so much card advantage. Okay. Lands and Clarion Spirit. So they can go... Actually, they can't cast this as well. So yeah, Clarion Spirit into something. Cool. I draw 1 card. Juarez ECD. Not bad. Not bad. So I want to play this, I think, this turn. What's at the bottom? A bunch of stuff. Okay. How much mana do I... How many... Oh, X for what is basically the question. I think X for 2 when I hold open 4 mana. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. I like that. Make some shards.
My life is my own.
Now what? I think we just plus. Honestly, they have to attack the Nico. If they actually, maybe we should have minused because they can put a lot of counters on this Clarion Spirit. Okay, we lost 1 shard, but we basically saved some life. And we're at 13, so I mean we could use some life. Second Clarion Spirit. Okay. See, my concern now is that we really need another Wrath. Uh-huh. Lots of 1/1s. They played one of their lands, yup. Clarion Spirit will go straight for Nico. Unfortunate. Should have definitely hit minus there, my bad. But hopefully it doesn't punish us too much. That's why I haven't been playing Birth. I don't want to shuffle all this away. Because we've been doing some pretty aggressive scrying. So we're going to start with these. And then move on to the tome. Because we need mana to activate these. We don't need mana for the tome. Giant Killer. Sure. And buys Gigantha. Okay. Wrath, please. Not a Wrath. Not quite. Behold. Definitely not a Wrath. Okay. Not a Wrath. Wrath. Gain some life. That's always good. Wrath. Please. No Wrath. Okay. So, very fun. We go to main. Nice. I really don't want to play this Birth and shuffle all of that away. So what do we do? Tap land first of all. I can draw 4 and see if I hit a Wrath. And if I don't, we can Nico minus take something out. Oh my god. Guys. Wrath, we did it. Okay. Our digging pays off. The other plan if we didn't hit a Wrath was play Nico minus kill the 4/4, I think. Make some shards. Maybe, if not, play Tome, maybe casket something. Okay, opponent plays Gigantha. That's fine. Have they officially slowed down? Oh my god. Okay. They have not slowed down. Cool. Good to know. Now, I think I do need to Birth just so I keep hitting lands. And it is unfortunate that all of this gets shuffled, but these cards aren't necessarily bad. They just warrant a Wrath. So we go tap white and white. Actually, Yeah, I think that's fine. I've been playing a lot of blue spells. Plains. We ECD. Gigantha. Down. And other tome. Alright. What a game, guys. So what is this? Second Scalds. Like third Innkeeper. So much to keep up with. Okay. This deck just keeps presenting threats and you have to answer them. Okay. Lovestruck Beast. More counters, more cards, of course. What else would we expect? At least we're not dying this turn. Then what, Magistrate? This is here for the Magistrate plus Spellbinder combo. A brutal combination of cards. I wonder if they're going to deck themselves. Is them literally decking themselves out my win con? I don't know. We have 80 cards plus the tome. Sorry, the tome, the midnight clock. So we're not going to be the ones decking. How does clock look? We have taken a bit more time than they have due to all of our aggressive scrying, but nothing just yet. Nothing like crazy worrying yet. Spellbinder comes down. Innkeeper is now a 4/4. Take a look. What do you want? I mean, I've been forced to tap out so often I haven't been able to counter these showdowns, which is super unfortunate. They take my removal spell, but I have a lot of mana, so it's not the end of the world. Actually, they're going to play the Magistrate, so we won't be able to use this casket. They don't? Okay. I'm going to counter this giant. They get the counter there, but it's not a huge deal. And I am scrying for yet another Wrath. I think we're good on the Field of Ruin. No upkeep scry though. I might want to draw a card. Fabled Passage. Blocker. Secured. So let's start here. Crack the passage. I guess we take more blue for now. So do we want to buy and play Yorion? How much mana is that going to cost me? 8? Will cost me 8 mana to buy and play Yorion, plus another 4 from the glass casket, putting my total mana thing at 12. We have 13. We have 12 exactly, meaning we don't get to hold open negate, but we get to take out this Lovestruck Beast, this one, the Innkeeper. You know, I think that's actually pretty good. So we buy Yorion. Glass Casket, the 1/1 away. For starters. Oh, I should have scryed. It's fine, we miss out on one scry, but it's not the end of the world. Get a pretty good value Yorion, especially at this point in the game. And if they hadn't taxed me, I'd be able to hold open the gate, but it is what it is. And now we take what? A 5/5, because this can block in the air. Casket will take the Innkeeper that draws more cards. And we take a Plains. Next line drop secured. Opponent is under ECD tax. I'll take an Apparition. I think we can do better than an Omen. Okay. I swear I'm pressing the pass button. Resolve. Now that took some clock. That turn ate some clock. I had to count my mana. I had to think about that stuff. I don't know if you guys can see my untapped, but my untapped tells me I have one untapped land. That's some cap. Oh my god. Okay. Cool. What is this? Third showdown? 1, 2, 3, 4. A Crowan War. Okay. You can take my Yorion, I guess. Get in for 5. 6. No, they can't cast it. We managed to clear game 1 after all of that card draw. Oh, man. I mean, we did get a little bit lucky, but I do think I played that pretty well. So, sideboarding. How do we want to sideboard against this deck? Giant Killer seems good. Intervention doesn't seem great. Stroke. What am I hitting with Stroke? I'm hitting Showdowns, maybe Gigantha. I think that's pretty much it, so it doesn't seem great. Glimpse, whatever. Negate's okay. I think we keep the moons in the main deck, but we're not super excited to have more. Shark Typhoon. I'm not sure about that either. I literally think we're just playing some Giant Killers. What do I want to drop off? Definitely want these. Birth is pretty good. Juari's land. Negates. I really like negates because they counter the non-creature spell halves of the adventure creatures, plus all of the important things that... Showdown of the Skulls. Omens, we can trim Tome, but Tome was so good that game. Omen, they have a lot of 1/1s. Maybe it's just the clock. We can go down a clock and maybe down an eco. It's really hard to find the room to tap out for them. Maybe an Archon. Maybe an ECD, actually. Things that remove 1 creature aren't great. I think 1 ECD is fine, though. Not 2, so we just kind of go like this. Or things that remove 1 creature are fine if they're like Glass Casket or Giant Killer. At 5 mana, it's a little harder to justify. Okay, we go like this. Let's try it. Man, these adventure games are tough. Hand is not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not horrible either. So how greedy am I going to be with my lands? I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to play this tapped. Nice and chill and just say go. We have plenty of white. Not much else. Okay. Do I take this? I think we take the Magistrate. I'm expecting an Elite Spellbinder here, which would be annoying. Yep, there you go. You have the curve. But at least we can still cast our spells that they take. Take a look at my hand. They can make my Birth more expensive if they don't want me to do anything next turn but buy Yorion. They can take my Archon, make it cost 6 mana. That's not horrible. Yep, and that's what they choose to do. Doomscar. I think we have to be patient on the Doomscar. They might take it with the Spellbinder. But if they do, it is what it is. I think we have to hit more creatures. You saw how big the Wraths get. We can't just Wrath 2 things. Like, they have so many important threats. The reason we won that game is because our Doomscars were just so big and they committed so much to the board. And because we did find them when we did. So I can take some damage from the Spellbinder. Oh my god, they have second Spellbinder. Okay, I guess they were planning on taking my Yorion, and now we have to get to 7 mana to play this Doomscar. Not ideal. Yeah, you take the Doomscar. I wonder if we can foretell from there. You may pay 2 mana. Exile this card face down. No, you cannot foretell from there. Good to know. Opponent plays a Lovestruck Beast 1/1 as well. Let's take a scry. Counterspell. Counterspell doesn't seem that good. Not in this spot. Could buy Yorion. I mean, they know my hand, so guess we buy Yorion. Have second Yorion now. And some lands. So I think I was too greedy on not foretelling Doomscar. But them having Magistrate double Spellbinder just kind of is what it is. we fall in life. If we survive till turn 7, though, they're going to have a wide board. And we can play this Yorion next turn, which looks like the play, just to stay alive. Depending on what we draw. Counterspell. Okay. Is the play just cast Yorion? I think it is. Nothing fancy. Submit 0. I want this in the casket. I want to be able to have access to these spells. Save 5 life. Thank you, wall. Showdown? Naturally. At least Showdown forces them to commit to the board some more. And we're going to be on 6 mana, and we know we have up to 7 mana secured, which feels kind of nice. Oh man. I guess we can thin the deck some more. I say thin the deck. It's not actually thinning the deck because we have a card at the bottom. I'm going to not reveal information for a second and just play this Archon. Alright, so our next turn really just looks like Wrath. This turn looks like... Oh, Innkeeper is so bad though, right? They get to draw at least 1 card, if not more, because they do have the Lovestruck Beast. Make Spellbinder bigger, play Lovestruck Beast. It replaces itself because of Eddie. But at least any creature they put on the board just dies to this Doomscar that's coming up. Clarion Spirit, mate, you know I have the Doomscar. Okay. And Sentinel. Sure. We're gonna Wrath our own board anyways, so literally whatever. Again, playing lands they know about. I Wrath. I don't know why they played the rest of those creatures to the board, but I'm not complaining. And that's the type of big Wrath I'm talking about, guys. Let's go. Okay, make Redain even bigger. And it's at this point in the game where I can cast this Yorion and take their Innkeeper to prevent more card draw. And now Counterspell actually matters. Okay, cool. Also, I will shuffle my deck now just to thin it out. 5/5 is annoying. I do counter it because it can start beating me down. And we drew a lot of lands this game, which I'm not complaining all that much, but only having lands left is not ideal, to say the least. We need some tomes. Omen, well, it's something. I suppose we just are aggressive. Because they're hitting us for 4, we're getting a bit of life. Sure. We're not exactly gaining anything, just chilling with no action. Oh yeah, this has Vigilance, that's true. Yeah. I mean, we Omen, right? Just use our mana. We need something like a... I could Scry. That's what we're going to do. We're going to Scry. Apparition solves my Redain problem, at least temporarily, so sure. It's not exactly crazy card advantage, but it will do. We haven't even hit a land that does something like a Crawling Barrens. Alright. Own it down to 10. Clarion Spirit, that's frustrating, can make a lot of blockers. Into Redain. Casket. That is a card. Okay. Now what do we take? Redain or Clarion Spirit? I think we take the Spirit because it can potentially make even more creatures. And Redain is going to tax me on some spells, but I mean, I have so much mana, it's not a huge deal at this point. Like on turn 3, it's a problem. On turn, what are we, like turn 10 or something? Less of a problem. Chump block Spirit, I'm guessing. Opponent goes to 2. Okay, I think I would have just chumped with the Spirit. Let's play our Birth. I mean, we're going to cast pretty much every spell we draw. And opponent cannot complain about flooding. Look at our lands right here. Counterspell. Nice. That's really good. If I attack with all, they go chump, block, like trade, I guess. They go to 1. We just keep attacking with Yorion. Nice and easy. Force them to chump block for as long as we can. And now they're technically dead on board. I could have foretold this. I should have just foretold it. I'm going to counter this. In case they have another adventure creature. It's more likely than them having a showdown. Okay, negate. Really good draw. Now, if I attack with all, they're dead because this might be a stomp, which we can just counter. What else? I don't see anything that realistic that would keep them alive. That's not a stomp, and we can just negate. And they're dead. Okay. Whew. Nice, we get there. So yeah, countering that Innkeeper is bad if they do have a Showdown as their last card. But if they ripped Showdown, I felt like they would have cast it earlier. And if they had the Innkeeper as a blocker here, then they could go chump here, like trade here, chump, or like chump here, kind of trade with the Innkeeper, and then take 1. They're not dead, and they have another turn to draw out of it. So I do agree with my play to actually counter this thing, because it's also more likely that they have any adventure creature and start drawing more cards than it is that they have 1 Showdown of the Scalds. Okay, on the draw, but this is a really solid hand. Tapped Castle. Could be a lot of things. Ooh, but the pass in priority. Stonecoil Serpent with a tapped castle. This is going to be Rakdos aggro that Crokis has been playing. Mark my words. 2/2 Stonecoil right here. Oh man, guys. Football Crater. Oh yeah. Is that. Cool. Well, I mean, the deck is strong. There's no doubt there. But, you know, deck is also kind of slow. I'm happy to just play Omen. Or it's not exactly slow, it's as fast as it can be. But we're a Yorion deck. And if they're not pressuring me this early, they're in for a world of trouble. We can play Omen in response. Seems good. But we need more actual enchantments. But yeah, I think I'll take an Archon. Cool. I'm going to Apparition this because if ever they kill it, they get a 0/0. Which is kind of funny. I could also just put it in a casket. But I think them killing this is just freaking hilarious. Or me blinking it. Bone Crusher Giant. That's completely fine. Completely and utterly fine. Giving it haste? Sure. Midnight Clock, eh? I can ramp. I can Wrath. I could play a 4/4 lifelinker. 3/4 lifelinker. One thing's for sure, I do want this down. So now what? Clock plus Casket? That doesn't seem too bad. Or Clock plus Hold Open Jwaris. I kind of like Clock plus Casket. Plock. Nice. Gives me some more mana to work with. I might draw like an Omen at some point. So Archon looks even better. Okay. We might just end up playing Jwari's tapped. Bone Crusher Giant with haste. Crater's good. Don't get me wrong. Crater's really good against control. Hit me for some more damage. Negate. Okay. Well, I mean, we can play this lifelinker. I think we can race. They have no cards in yard, no Croxa. We're gonna start playing this tapped. They need Heartless Act or something. No blocks, I'm good. Cleave. We go to 1. We go to 2, sorry. Okay. We go to 2. Omen? Nico. So Nico for... I can kill this, right? So I Nico for 1. Hold on, let's start here. Yeah, all right, sorry, I'm just thinking, guys. We Nico for 1. Draw a card minus. Okay. Nico 1. Get a 2/2. 2/2 lifelinker coming in. Then we draw a card. Cool. Footfall Crater holding priority, by the way. Tome, no thank you. Casket, not bad. Then we shoot the giant. 4/4. And I'm gonna hold both of these. I'm gonna hold this back. 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 7, and it's this. This is still a 2-turn clock regardless, because we have 7 power toughness on board. And I'm not sure how they would kill me. They need like a Timoret Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, you can give it haste and trample, or you can just equip it, but that doesn't kill me. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're dead. Okay. Casket. Remove Bone Daddy, and we attack for lethal. Okay, cool. So yeah, the tap the Lochthwain into immediate stick on turn 1 is a dead giveaway about the deck that they're playing. So knowing that we're playing against this, and I was thinking, like, do we side in, or do I add Soul Guide Lanterns to the sideboard? And I decided on no, but I am thinking that we do need to, because of matchups like this being more popular due to Croakies. So, Giant Killer seems good. Stroke, not good. Intervention, kind of I mean, this actually doesn't seem horrible. They have the Footfall Craters, they have Timorets, they have Cleaves, so I think we're good to play 1 copy of this. We don't want this, we don't want these. No, probably not. So what do we want to drop off now? Negate isn't horrible against them. They have a lot of non-creature spells, like Timoret and stuff. ECD seems really slow. And, like, Midnight Clock. That's really slow as well. I think we just go like this. Alright, cool. They're going to side in 4 Duresses and 2 Lilianas. Which, in that case, maybe we should keep ECD for Liliana, but I don't think that's worth it. Oh, this hand is good. I love seeing 2-mana interaction when I play blue-white control. I love it. The wall can come in handy as well. And their deck is very hungry for mana. Duress. Okay, what you gonna take? So the fact that they mulligan on the play means they're less likely to hit all the lands that they need. Or the Jwaris. Alright, cool. Guess we just play land go. Tapped Spikefield Caves. So not exactly the same list, but, you know, similar enough. Probably takes my Omen here. Yep. Which, I mean, makes my life easier on what I want to play. It's going to be the Birth. And let's see if I live long enough to get up to 7 mana. Okay. Okay, lands go. can buy Yoria now. And pass. I'm not going to hold open Negate forever. We can't just do nothing with our mana. Land 4? Rankle. Ooh. Make me discard. I think I can drop off this Negate. It's not doing all that much for me. And no, it's not the exact same list that Crocus was playing, but it is similar. So... I guess we thin the deck. We can get more blue. We always need more blue. And play Archon. Rankles look really bad against Archon. Like, really bad. And now we're on 5, 6. If we find one more land, we can just play Miria's Call in a couple turns. Stone Coil Serpent. Okay. Yeah. Now, do we play this just as a big blocker? I think we do. It's just the tempo play. And they are probably working to try to get Cleave down. No attacks because reach. Double Duress is irritating, but it's not the end of the world. Cleave, 1 down. Cool. And nothing in hand, okay. Another Archon. We'll play this tapped. Doomscar. Let me read this. Till you end. Okay, non-angel creatures gain indestructible until the end of your next turn. I think we keep this, but I just think we pass. I think we play it really slow. Say go here. Mill some more cards. They're gonna find Croxa eventually, but they're going really wide. I mean, blowing up my own board doesn't sound amazing, but... I'm going to try to gain some life, so we're going to attack because I am planning on Doomscarring and denying them some scries as well. And then following up with, like, Amiria's Call into Archon. Yeah, they can block there, and then I just get 3 life regardless. Seems fine. Sure. So this is going to be white. We Wrath. Okay. No scries. So now it's really up to the top of their deck. Mire Triton. Alright, no Croxa. No Croxa 1 time. Alright, good. I make some 4/4s. And we pass. I'm going to hold this for Croxa. Which, I mean, they actually play an escape, so... I guess there's not all that much of a point to it. Yeah, I should have just played that. Oh well. Alright, let's go. Skyclave Apparition, Glass Casket. Skyclave Apparition, Glass Casket. Tome. Skyclave Apparition, Glass Casket. Omen. Oh, jeez. Okay. And so this is going to hit me for what? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can double block. They have 7 cards in yard, means they can re-escape. I think our best bet is trying to race. Maybe it's aggressive, but I do think it's the play. Okay. I'm going to cast this. That's what I'm talking about. So we keep Yorion, and we keep that there. So we draw Yorion, discard it to save some life. And then we draw the Apparition because we actually want to draw the Apparition. Probably should have only attacked with one of these. Take your Croxa. I'm in a main phase draw. There's a couple 2-mana spells I'd play now. I could just hold that. Or are you dead? to my angels. And you are. All right. Whew, blue-white clear in that match. And they're honestly teched out to beat us. Even this player running rankles and stuff like that. I mean, the Doomscar, my own board, was kind of questionable, especially because if the game goes long, we're we're advantaged if the game goes longer. But I think because we had more gas, that it was okay. And the opponent milling a Croxa, I mean, it was about time. They were at about half their library, but we managed to clear it. We had like 4 casket, 4 apparition, so we were pretty likely to hit something eventually. All right, guys, and we are back. So those were some pretty long games, and if you are wondering about the ordering, I did actually play the Rakdos game first, but I just found the Naya one was way more entertaining. It was a lot more on the edge of your seat, so I put it first for the sake of content. I basically think that the better game out of the two, the longer game also, should go first in order to keep people more entertained. Basically, as you all know, or most of you will know, the longer a video goes on, the less people watch it. So in order for more people to actually see a much more interesting game, I put it first. But yeah, this deck is hard. This deck is tough, right? It really is a case of you have to like the style of gameplay. I love playing control, but I do feel a lot safer playing stuff like Dimir control, where I have instant speed removal. I can just play a lot more Drago style, and you can build this deck to be more like that. You can run more counter magic, less tap outy things like Apparition, Archon, ECD, Yorion, that type of thing. But this deck does kind of lean into the Archon, less so than Aaron Gertler's list, which I do recommend you try out if that really is your style of gameplay. Check his out. It's probably better tuned to the meta, or at least the MCQ meta, because he's been testing it for a while and he's a really good Magic player. So if you aren't enjoying this list with less tap out, more draw go check his out. It should be one of the first decks on MTGA Zone under standard. But yeah, again, if you want to try my version out, it will be in the description down below as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.